It wasn't pretty, but it was a very important win for the Patriots here Sunday at MetLife Stadium. I'm Mike Petraglia, joined again by Evan Lazar. This Patriots postgame report is brought to you by 1 in 100. Go to 1in100.co now and register for your chance to win in a raffle killer Pats, Bruins, and Celtics tickets for the cost of a beer or a large pizza. Again, that's 1in100.co now. All right, 27-13, the Patriots really outlast the New York Jets. They really dominated the New Yorkers in the second half of this game, Evan. And Sony Michel was the biggest story, I think, of the game with his 21 carries and 133 yards and a touchdown that salted the game away. What I thought was really impressive, and a lot of Patriots touched on this postgame in the locker room, was the toughness that the Patriots need to show with their run game in the latter part of the season.
Yeah, I mean, they want to be a power running team, right? They want to come at you, come downhill, because what that does is it sets up the play action passing game, which they're so electrifying with. And today I think we really saw the return of Shaq Mason and Rob Gronkowski back in the lineup, as well as Sony Michel getting a heavier workload than he did in Tennessee. I want to give a lot of credit to the offensive line, because I really thought the offensive line was the key to this entire thing. I mean, the lanes that he was running through today, he did some great stuff after he got through those initial holes, right. But the stuff that he did, going through the holes was really the offensive line just putting it on the Jets' defensive front here today, both against the pass, really protecting Tom Brady pretty well, right. And also opening up those huge holes for Sony.
Two people return that really definitely helped the running game. Yeah. Shaq Mason, the starting right guard, and Rob Gronkowski, who, in addition to being the best overall tight end, might be one of the best blocking tight ends in football.
Maybe ever. Maybe
that's high praise.
He's up there, though. You know, he's certainly one of the best blocking tight ends ever that can also catch the ball as good as he can. I mean, there's some specialty guys that we can go, the Mark Bavaros of the world and stuff like that. Not a lot of Rob Gronkowskis out there that can do both as well as Gronk does. I think what we saw here today was just the all-around element that Gronk brings. Himself as a blocker, himself as a pass catcher, but what the kind of the trickle-down effect, the domino effect it has on the rest of the offense, opening up the holes for Sony Michel, opening up passing lanes for guys like Chris Hogan that weren't necessarily clicking when he wasn't there. Just having number 87 on the field makes it the life easier for everybody. Even Tom Brady admits that it makes it easier for everybody. So I think that this offense right now, its ceiling has to be with Rob Gronkowski on the field. If they want to be true Super Bowl contenders, they need number 87 out there.
All right, there are two areas I think we need to bring up. First of all, the biggest negative to come from this game are the 10 penalties, 95 yards. Yeah. And Bill Belichick kind of said after the game, when I asked him about it, he said, look, we can't have that. Because I asked him, well, it was good that your team showed that they could overcome those penalties and put the penalty in the past. No, he was not having that.
Yeah, I mean, really, there was a few that were ticky-tack. The holding on Trent Brown in the beginning of the game that took, Tony's first big run, I thought was a phantom call. The rest of them I thought that were pretty legitimate, and I think the main thing is you play these divisional games and you come into the game not leading the league in fewest penalties. I guess I didn't word that properly, but they had the fewest penalties called against them in the league, the Patriots did, coming into this game. Then you have 10 penalties against you, a season high for a game this season. I mean, I think it's an aberration. I don't think that it's something that you're going to see week in and week out because they had so few penalties called against them. But overall, I mean, this crew had called the most penalties in the league as a crew coming into the game. So you knew you were going to get a lot of penalties, I think, flags thrown heading in, and both teams had a ton.
Yeah, and it certainly should be noted, Patriots were the least penalized team in the NFL coming into the game. So the other thing that would be concerning to a lot of Patriots fans, at least watching in the first half, were the big chunk plays that the Patriots secondary continue to give up. And it actually led to the Patriots falling behind 7-0. And your concern level of the secondary?
Well, I think that overall, you and I have kind of talked about this a lot, about how good these DBs are at covering and man coverage specifically. And I think that the Jets did a nice job with their game plan on offense. They kind of knew that if they kept the Patriots in base defense, they were going to get some opportunities with their tight ends and their running backs against the Patriots linebackers. And they were really able to exploit them that way in the passing game. But the guys like Jason McCourty giving up that long one to Quincy Enunwa, where he kind of fell asleep on the release and Enunwa cut over the middle of the field and he was just gone, and tons of separation. Curse got Jonathan Jones benched in this game. Jermaine Curse did, and J.C. Jackson kind of stepped up in the second half and played pretty well in John Jones' absence. I think that in some respects, I'm not trying to make excuses for the Patriots, but this is kind of just today's NFL. Like, the offenses are going to make some plays. You can't grab the receivers anymore. You can't touch them 5 yards down the field. The schemes are what they are. There's a ton of speed on the field on the offensive side of the ball, guys like Robbie Anderson and so on and so forth. They're going to make a few plays, and at the end of the day, they only gave up 13 points, and I think that as bad as the Jets' offense was and is this season, all the offenses across the league are scoring a lot more and are gaining a lot more yards through the air especially. So some of those big chunk plays, you're just going to have that these days, I think.
As we wrap it up here, Rob Gronkowski had 3 catches, and his biggest catch of the day was the 34-yarder over the middle, the post pattern that Tom Brady threw up. Brady told me after the game, I didn't even see it. Yeah. I heard the crowd reaction, hoping that it was the Patriot fans cheering a touchdown, and indeed that's what it was on 3rd and 12. Big moment in the game. The Jets decide to accept the offensive pass interference on James White on the pick play on Edelman, and on the very next play it was Tom Brady getting rushed. He throws up the post pattern, and Gronk mosses the defensive back for the touchdown.
Yeah. I thought that sequence was the worst part about this for the Jets coaching staff. So first of all, they accept the penalty, and they give Tom Brady another shot on 3rd down, which is just weird.
Yeah, but dude, let me stop you there. I can understand trying to make it 3rd and 12 and making it a much more difficult field goal if you get the stop on 3rd and 12.
Right, but you're giving Tom Brady an extra down. I'm just never doing that. The second thing that they did is they played an inverted cover 2 coverage, and they left the middle of the field wide open with Gronk in the seam, and he just ran right down the middle of the field, and the outside corner had to kind of recover inside Morris Claiborne, and he was just too late to the play. That kind of sequence right there really flipped the game, I thought, early, where the Jets were kind of leaning a bit on the Patriots defense especially, and the Patriots were able to get that huge chunk play from Gronk, and if you don't accept that penalty, you kick a long field goal potentially. It's a whole different ball game than getting that touchdown. Not a great couple of minutes there for Todd Bowles.
No, but you did think Gronk looked pretty good in his return?
I said before the game that all I wanted to see was a flash. I wanted to see like a little flash of something that we could say, okay, when it comes time, playoff time, it's January, you're against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, can you take Gronk out of the garage? You know, can you run him on a seam? Can you run him over the middle? Can you do some stuff with him? And I thought here today he showed that he is 100% ready to be that guy. Now, is he going to be that guy for 4 quarters, 70 plays a game where he's catching 10 passes or anything like that? Probably not. But you use him sparingly. You use him situationally, 3rd downs, key, plays like the one that on the touchdown, and you get what you get out of him, and it really pays dividends.
Patriots 27-13 winners here over the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. They improved to 8-3. The Minnesota Vikings come calling next Sunday afternoon at Gillette Stadium as the Patriots actually play a home game. We haven't been at Gillette in about a month now, but the Patriots get a big win here in New York. This Patriots post-game report brought to you by 1-in-100. Go to 1in100.co now and register for a chance to win in a raffle tickets to the Patriots, Bruins, or Celtics for the cost of a large pizza or even a beer, and also a great chance to win some concert tickets throughout New England. The Patriots win it 27-13. He's Evan Lazar. I'm Mike Petralia, CLNS Media.